caindo.
Yeah, it's a bloody lovely day. Fuck, for a stock pipe that's Euro 5, man, it sounds pretty darn good. Am I covering the bloody... sunlight gauge here or something? Because I really can't see shit on my phone. I might have to pull over to fix that. Because that's being... yeah. Come on. Come on. Work, you son of a bitch. Oh, that's up full. These gloves clearly don't work all that well. I've only got about 40 minutes of recording time on my current SD card, so you'll have to forgive me if it randomly cuts out. Oh man, it's so good to be on this bike. Probably the only complaint with this bike so far is, well, I've had to play with the suspension. It was set pretty damn hard from factory, because obviously it's little Italians that are building these things, so they probably don't weigh anywhere near as much as me, consider I'm like, these days I'm now 109 kilos the last time I measured myself, which is a pretty thick boy. Thankfully I'm not, excuse me, even though I'm 109 kilos, I'm not like fat. I've just got a bit of belly. I can't really see my abs anymore like I used to be able to, which kind of sucks, but you get that. Yeah, this bike can handle my weight, no problem. Just with the added weight I had to, well, the spring was almost all the way off already, so there was just not a lot of preload on the spring, and I would have thought, given that the hits on this bike was so freaking harsh, that the spring was set up too hard. So I made the assumption, oh, I'd have to take some loading off of the spring, but there wasn't a whole, there was only like 2 rotations out, and then it was like the preload was completely off. I'm still trying to get my head around shifting normally as opposed to GP shift. But yeah, so I decided, well, I was sitting there playing with it and then, you know, bouncing up and down on the bike, and it seemed like it was bottoming the shock out. So I decided, well, maybe it's the opposite way. Maybe I have to put preload in order to stop it from bottoming out and then becoming such a super harsh ride. Forgot these ones actually had lights. Fucking hell, calm down. Yeah, so I put some preload on the shock, and then, that's a nice little old car. And then I'm going to use some cruise control here, I think. Even though I've got to stop up here. What was I saying? Oh damn. Oh yeah, and then I put a little bit more hardness on the rebound, and it seems to have made the bike feel quite a bit better. Still, I'll have to play around with it a little bit because it's still quite harsh compared to what it was like when I test rode, so there's got to be a setting there that is better than what I've got now. When I got on this bike and first started it, just that thump underneath your ass because of, you know, big V-twin felt so freaking good. It's been a long time coming. It's been over 5 years coming for me to get this bike. And I'm glad I waited, because this is the first year that Ducati brought out this bike in a dark. And to be perfectly honest, I was originally going to buy the S model, which is $6,000, or almost $7,000 more than this. And I just couldn't see the value. I couldn't see where $6,000 was going into the bike where it would actually be useful for me. Like things like Bluetooth and that. Like this helmet is so freaking loud with wind noise. I'm never going to hear anything if I connected my phone onto Bluetooth or music or anything like that anyway, so I just didn't bother. We just do that, get ahead of everyone, and reset. I love cruise control. Look at this shit. I'm not even touching. It's great. Yeah, why is my bike set in urban? I never set this thing in urban. Oh, so amazing. Gotta listen to that motor. For a bike that is Euro 5 standard now, they finally caught up with Ducati and forced them to make their bike Euro 5, but they pulled some magic out of the bag. They somehow made this bike sound just as good as the Euro 4 version, probably almost as loud. It might even be 1 or 2 decibels off, but it ain't going to be much because it's still a decent volume bike, especially early in the morning when I get up at 2 in the morning to go to work and all my neighbours get pissed off. I don't care, because I love my bike, and it's going to get worse once I put the exhaust on it. So it sucks to be them, and it'll be amazing for me. Man, I may live in a unit complex, but these people are going to understand that I'm not going to buy things to suit them. Like, yeah, I can be reasonable to an extent, but if I want a bike to have an exhaust on it, I'm going to get a bike that has an exhaust on it, and it's unfortunate that I have to work at stupid freaking hours that I do. God, it sounds so fucking good. This bike is actually easier to blip than my ZX was, surprisingly enough, considering how smooth the ZX was. Definitely made a good choice in bike. This thing's fucking amazing. But I do have bar end mirrors, which I'm hopefully going to put them around there. Might be able to move this one over a bit and then squeeze them in, but I don't know how it's going to work. I don't even know if the mirrors I got will work. I might have to get something else, but I want to clean up this top section a bit. I was hoping to put the mirrors there, so then that way but I'm worried that when I turn this all the way full lock, it's going to hit the tank. I do not want that. So it's going to be a bit of fucking around to try and get the mirrors sorted in a position where I'm actually going to like them. Christ, I need to clean my phone. I can't see shit on them. Anyway, we do what we got to do. As I was saying, other than the shock, the only complaint I got, and I actually said this in my initial review of the bike, is this turn signal. You can't even feel, like most bikes, especially like Japanese bikes, you can feel when the turn signal turns on and off and when you depress it in. This, you can't really feel it. It's not intuitive. It's very flimsy feeling. So you could turn your blinkers on and you don't even realize they're on until you look down. You have to look down at your dash to make sure you actually turn them on. This bike does have an auto off feature, but it only works half the time. I'm not really sure the parameters as to how or when it does its job. So that's something else that could be improved upon in the future. Yeah. But so far, so good. It feels amazing to cruise. Took some photos of it the other day at the park, Bicentennial Park. And this thing, fourth gear, 60 kilometers an hour, cruise control on, easy, piss easy. Just climbing up these steep ass hills. Let's see how it does downhill. Wow, it's even modulating the throttle down. It's holding it at 61, it was popping up to 63, going down to 61. Yeah, this cruise control actually does a really good job at stopping you from speeding. Kicks in straight away as soon as you go over 60 kilometers an hour. Prepare to stop. Rattle. And even though like this model, being the base model, doesn't come with the M50 brakes, I really don't notice a difference, eh? The M50 brakes would be nice and all, but why would you spend the extra money on something when this brakes just as hard? Well, it probably doesn't brake just as hard, but unless you have to do emergency braking like every freaking 5 seconds, you don't need it. Most of your braking, I find, well for me, for my type of riding and when I'm riding hard, I rely a lot on engine braking, mainly because I'm not a MotoGP rider. I'm not, trying to set lap times. I just want to go into corners nice and easy, come out nice and easy, because I do have self-preservation where I don't want to die. So, the only time I need to use my brakes to their full potential is when I'm emergency braking. And these brakes feel mighty fine. I'm hoping I don't develop that issue where people were complaining about their rear brake wasn't working anymore because of air locks or whatnot. So I'm hoping they've rectified that in this model. Time will tell. I do find that the bike loves to sit more around the 3000 mark when cruising. Like if you want to keep your RPM as low as possible. Most things below 3000 feel very chuggy. Like, not as in there's no power, it just sends a lot of vibrations through the bike. So just to make things feel a little bit nicer, and yeah, I'll go up here. So yeah, we'll reset this and go up to 70. And this is 70 kilometers an hour, 6 gear, 2500 RPM. You fucking slow down, old man. Very minimal vibrations at this speed, this RPM range, and the bike is just effortlessly thrown around. So basically I've got to keep the bike under 6000 RPM for the braking period and just not ride it super hard. It does shift into first gear really nice. It's a very clean thud. Come on. Look at this, 3 kilometers an hour and I'm still balancing it. Come on, are you gonna merge or what? Let's go. These people, mate. Let's go. Today. Christ, people like that really need to sort their shit out. Yeah, we've got the water coming up. I bet that's the mobile speed camera. So unfortunately in New South Wales they now passed a law that mobile speed cameras no longer need signage. So you really can't tell where they are. It's a pain in the ass. Wish I had a house like that. A lot of wind today. It even chugs nicely at 3000 RPM at 70 kilometers an hour. Like the vibration's even less. On the weekend, I'm looking after my sister's kids, and then I'm gonna go see mum and dad the next day. I'm gonna ride the Gold Gong, going back to the Gong on my bike. Where's the road? Somewhere up here. mad, I hit the Royal National Park. Let's see if I'm still filming. Yeah, it's still going. We'll see how long for though. Oh, 60. Lame. Oh, roadworks. I've never been here before. It's not bad. Huh? What? Oh, shit. Yeah. Are you stuck in the car? Nah. Okay, still stuck in the car. Alright, no worries. Note to self, don't cut corners or don't stick your head out in the corners. Hey. Fuck, this is nice. How did I not know about this earlier? Look how good this is. I wonder if there's a toilet right now because I really need to fucking piss. Are there toilets? Wow, this is pretty. Ooh. Is that toilets? Alright. Bit of a wrestle. Alright.